So it's another day and another crime from an illegal alien scumbag. Yesterday, a Border Patrol agent who was off duty got shot in the face. Also in this video, we're going to be talking about Hunter Biden and how he went scorched earth on Democrats. And as usual, we'll show you what both sides are saying and give you the bottom line.
In Chicago, police arrested an illegal alien for allegedly hiding a woman's body in a bleach-filled container for nearly 2 months. Investigators say they believe she died of a drug overdose. The suspect, again, was here illegally, but under Illinois law, nothing apparently was enough to hold him. He was let go after his first court appearance just this spring. Now the feds have him in ICE custody. And in sanctuary New York City, 2 illegals are in custody for shooting an off-duty Border Patrol officer. One of those suspects was previously deported and was arrested 4 times before this happened. He was released without bail every single time.
All right, so this is a story that came out actually last night in New York City, where an off-duty Border Patrol agent was shot in the face by, guess what? An illegal alien, right? No shocker, because this is what has been happening repeatedly. And yes, this illegal alien was caught during the Biden administration and released back into the community repeatedly. Which brings me to the whole point of starting this video off with this story. This is why what President Trump has done on the border is historic. You know it, I know it, but we need to continue to highlight it because I believe people on the left are not acknowledging that when you see situations like this and they're silent. It's really unfortunate. Now, here is the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, in his response to this tragedy. Take a look.
How did the system fail so badly here? I mean, you had a Massachusetts warrant, deportation order, and multiple arrests here in New York City. And he felt comfortable enough to hang around after he had already robbed somebody because he didn't have to worry about it. He was going to be let go again. And it took a federal agent shooting him to stop him. How is our system working here at all? Mr. Mayor?
Our goal is to get dangerous people off the streets, and we have done that with our federal partners. You know of a number of the dangerous gangs takedown that we participated in, and whatever we need to do in our federal laws to ensure that dangerous people are not on our streets, federal authorities need to do that. Here in New York City, our laws are clear on what we can do, what we can't do. We always coordinate with our partners going after dangerous individuals. We're not allowed to coordinate dealing with deportation, civil deportation only. But we have used the tools with our task force and our federal partners to remove dangerous people off the street.
Now, before we move any further, if you guys have been getting value from our channel, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support us further, go to the link in the description below, buy us a cup of coffee, or shop our merch store. We got multiple new shirt designs. We got I Support ICE. We got MAGA Pack. And we also have Alligator Alcatraz. And all of them, you can get with a matching coffee mug as well. And don't forget to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Okay, so the mayor there contradicted himself towards the end, or at least the policies are contradicting themselves. What do I mean by that? He says that they are not allowed to partner with federal authorities when it comes to criminal deportations. But if it's about civil deportations, then they work with ICE. Isn't that pathetic? First, you say you're trying to get the criminals off the streets, but your policies don't support that. You guys let me know if you guys heard the same thing, because that's exactly the way that I took it. And again, sanctuary cities and their policies, this is the source of the problem. This is why you don't have this happening in Miami. You don't hear this happening in Louisville, Kentucky, okay? It's happening in the Democrat-run cities because the policies enable criminal behavior, especially from illegal aliens. I think the numbers on that prove it, and I think stories like this prove it, and it doesn't have to be this way. Now, here is what Kristi Noem had to say earlier this morning. Just a chilling response from her. Take a look.
There's absolutely zero reason that someone who is scum of the earth like this should be running loose on the streets of New York City. I'm calling on every single mayor in Sanctuary City and Sanctuary governor to change their policies and to change their tactics right now. Their job is to take an oath to protect the public, to protect families that are out there every single day trying to provide for each other and to try to live the American dream, and they want to do so safely in their own communities.
So the way that my mind works is that, of course, there will be crime in America. No question. That's never going to be at 0%. That's obvious. However, are we taking the proper preventative measures at the degree that we deem to be not only necessary, but appropriate given the current climate we find ourselves in? And the answer to that is no, because this is why crimes like this continue to happen. See, when you open the border, as you guys know, and let millions of people come into this country unvetted, and then you have people who are running these cities refusing to still vet these people even after they have committed crimes, and there's a thing called cashless bail, you're asking for more crimes to happen to people who are innocent. Now, here's what Tom Homan had to say.
I'll say it again, sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. And I'm going to work very hard with Secretary Noem to keep President Trump's promise and his commitment several weeks ago that sanctuary cities are now our priority. We're going to flood the zone. You don't want to let us into jail to arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of a jail. You want to release him into the street, which makes it unsafe for the community, makes it unsafe for the officer, makes it unsafe for the alien. Because anything can happen on a street arrest. So what we're going to do, we're going to have more agents in New York City to look for that bad guy. So sanctuary cities get exactly what they don't want, more agents in the community and more agents in the work site. If we can't arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of the county jail, then we'll arrest him in the community, and we'll arrest him in the jail. And when we arrest him in the community, if he's with others that are in the country illegally, they're coming too.
That is the appropriate response. Now let's hear a message from today's sponsor really quick from American Financing. I got to ask you a question. What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? That's right. Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting a little breathing room. It's possible when you call American Financing today. If you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, groceries, gas, bills are piling up, you're not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on their credit cards, and there doesn't seem to be a way out, and we can thank Jerome Powell because he refuses to lower rates. And that's why American Financing can show you how to use your home equity to pay off that debt. You need to call American Financing today before you get to a point where you can't make those payments. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans and consolidate debt, all without upfront fees. And by the way, they're saving customers an average of $800 a month. So all you have to do is call now, 866-890-9392. That's 866-890-9392, or hit the link in the description below. So Tom Homan touches on the mistake that Democrats have made, particularly the mayors of these sanctuary cities. They believe by fighting against President Trump, it's going to get them the results that they want, which is a safer neighborhood, the protection of all migrants, doesn't matter what their legal status is, according to Karen Bass, it doesn't matter why they came to this country. Okay. Well, based on that mindset alone, you know you're going to get in trouble here. And you're going to put your own people at risk. That's exactly what's taking place in these cities. See, the opposite ends up happening because they're coming at it from a negative point of view. Instead of working with the administration in a collaborative effort, in a bipartisan fashion, which would be on a more positive mindset, they're trying to work against the administration with a negative mindset. And when you're in a negative mindset, you'll never get what you want out of life. That's very clear. Now, speaking of that illegal alien who shot the Border Patrol agent in the face, here's more information on him. Take a look.
Investigators say right now they don't believe the off-duty agent was targeted for his job, but White House leaders are sounding off about the suspect who was here in the country illegally with a lengthy rap sheet. DHS tells us that Miguel Francisco Mora Nunez is a Dominican national. Investigators say his crimes include grand larceny in 2023, assault and criminal contempt in 2024, and armed robbery in 2025. Officers say late Saturday night, the off-duty agent fought back after realizing Nunez was trying to rob him in the city's Fort Washington Park. Surveillance video appears to show the suspect and another man roll up on a moped. One of them approaches the victim, who is sitting with a woman near the water. There's a scuffle, and right after, that's when it looks like the gunfire takes place. The off-duty agent was shot in the face and arm and is now communicating with hand gestures. City leaders say the case reeks of the country's once broken border.
Yeah, so number one, the most disturbing issue continues to repeat itself. And that is that you've had 20 million people cross the border. They're unvetted. Some of these people are committing crimes, not just once, but repeatedly. And that Democrat-run cities release them back into the community. Yeah, so the question is, why does this continue to happen, even though President Trump has clearly closed the border? Well, it's an easy answer. Because of all the people that's been let into the country already. And to find these people and vet these people, it's almost near impossible when you're dealing with these Democrat-run cities. Now, just to give you context about how difficult this really is, take a look at the catch and release number when you're looking at Biden versus President Trump.
The numbers don't lie. Joe Biden caught and released under his term 1.8 million. Donald Trump, so far, 6 months into a second term, 7. That is remarkable.
Number one, the good news here is that Border Patrol agent has survived this attack. And they say that, he's going to be able to make some type of recovery. Hopefully it's a full one. Number two, instead of Democrats coming out and condemning this behavior, which is a great opportunity to do so, and also put the first step forward in regards to working with the administration, because if they start to work with them, they can prevent things like this from happening. Because if they arrest an illegal alien repeatedly, instead of allowing him to walk free, just hand him over to ICE. I know, it makes sense. But see, the reason why they don't get that is because they're too busy protesting ICE. And here's a prime example. In Los Angeles, liberals, I guess, are planning to now boycott Home Depot because of the ICE raids. Take a look.
Boycott! 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 Boycott!
Estamos en la Western y Les Lawson. Western y Les Lawson, Western y Les Lawson. Ya hasta cerraron la puerta de Home Depot, Cerraron la puerta, Cerraron la puerta, Los animales cerraron la puerta, Ya, miren, ya cerraron.
You know what's so funny about people who are continuing to protest these ICE raids, and at the same time they're waving the flag of Mexico? I mean, at a certain point, you have to ask the question, why don't you just go back to your country then? If this country is so racist and so bad, then just leave. It's that simple. If you think Mexico is better, then leave. You know, I told you guys, the problem with our country today, not just our country, but the world in general, it's a lack of gratitude. They are not grateful at the fact that they have the freedom to protest to begin with. Now, imagine if I went down to Mexico City and started waving an American flag and started protesting the president of Mexico. I'm sure I'd be taken out sooner or later. So let's move to our other story, and that is Hunter Biden got people's attention today because in one breath, he went scorched earth on Democrats, called them out for who they really are, which I thought was really entertaining. But then once again proved why he doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. But let's start with what's fun, what he had to say about everyone that was involved with kicking his father out of the race for the presidency. Take a look.
I don't have to be nice. Number one, I agree with Quentin Tarantino. George Clooney is not a actor. He is a I don't know what he is. You. What do you have to do with anything? Why do I have to listen to you? What right do you have to step on a man who's given 52 years of his life to the service of this country and decide that you, George Clooney, are going to take out basically a full-page ad in the New York Times to undermine the president at a time in which, by the way, what do people care about the most? Why do you think that the Republicans have an advantage over us? Because they're unified. They will go along with anything. I wasn't asking anybody to go along with anything. I was asking people to go along with this. The most successful administration in my lifetime.
Okay, so two things. Number one, I agree with him on how he feels about Democrats because they're all hypocrites. We know that. And number two, he's a complete joke in saying that Biden's administration is the best in history in his lifetime. Now, understand something. He's talking about his dad, okay? So, of course, he's going to say that. But let's just be fair and keep it factual. There's no way you can say that Biden's administration is the best in Hunter's lifetime when he allowed 20 million migrants to cross the border unvetted. There's no way. That alone disqualifies Biden from that conversation. And then we can pile on Afghanistan, we could pile on Ukraine, and we could pile on, inflation, COVID, lockdowns, vaccines, et cetera, et cetera. And the fact that DEI did more damage to the black community than it helped, in a sense. Yeah, so I'm not buying any of that. Now, he also said this about immigration. Take a look.
Hunter Biden raising eyebrows in this shocking, new, wide-ranging interview. He also tears into the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. He says, quote, people are really upset about illegal immigration. Blank you. How do you think your hotel room gets cleaned? How do you think you have food on your effing table? Who do you think washes your dishes?
Yeah, see, this takes us to the core part of the debate as it pertains to mass deportations. The left is always going to push back and say, hey, who's going to pick the crops? Who's going to wash the dishes? Who's going to cut the grass? And what they're failing to realize is the United States of America has always been resilient and has always adapted. So, I mean, we can throw out so many examples over history where it's going to be Armageddon. And then America adapted and figured it out, and we evolved. It's called being human beings on this planet. We have always done it, and we will always continue to do it. So the problem with Democrats is they're actually disrespecting the resiliency of our country and even the intelligence that we possess. That if we find ourselves in a position where there is a labor shortage, that someone's not going to figure out how to solve that without using illegal aliens to do it. Okay? And secondly, this is a moral weak argument because what they're essentially doing is admitting that they're okay with slave labor. You're okay with people being in the country illegally and getting paid under the table, which means they're probably not even protected. They have no insurance. They don't have benefits. They're not even getting paid a proper wage. You're okay with all that. So again, I don't really buy his immigration thing. Now, that's my response. But why don't you listen to Hugh Hewitt, because he just goes off on Hunter. Take a look.
I believe the problem is that Hunter Biden doesn't know much about anything other than his old life and how he used to get alcohol and drugs. And about that, he is an authority. He ought not to have been advising his president, his father as president. He ought not to have been involved in anything to do with the White House. He's a convicted felon, and he does not know anything about illegal immigration. He is correct that many illegal immigrants work very hard. Doesn't mean they should stay in the country. That's a long and extended debate about that. I did read some other excerpts in this long interview. I'm not going to watch 3 hours of, I hope, a recovering addict and alcoholic tell me what he thinks ought to be happening in the country. But he clearly doesn't know anything about immigration. He is clearly desperate for attention. And here's my theory, Sandra. No one else in the family can make money now. The pipeline's been cut off, both for Uncle James and for every other Biden that was riding the train. Hunter is trying to become something so he can go out and get speaking gigs, but he's not that interesting because he was mostly stoned or drunk or on drugs for most of his adult life doing horrible things. So I'm just going to put it in that basket of the people who have been discredited, who ought never to be listened to about anything. In his comments about immigration, he might as well be talking about going to Mars. He might as well be talking about deep sea exploration. He doesn't know anything.
Now, according to Hugh Hewitt's logic there, it's even more disturbing that we know that Hunter Biden was the main advisor to the former president. Okay? I mean, that is just disturbing. And even during the interview that Hunter Biden gave, which I can't play the full clip due to copyright reasons, he basically admits that the former president was taking Ambien. And he took it right before that disastrous debate with President Trump last year. So that even opens up even more questions and continues to validate and confirm that we had a president who was not really sound in mind and was on drugs majority of the time. Now, if President Trump was taking Ambien and he was on drugs and he could not function after 4 p.m. in the afternoon, the media would be all over it, right? They'd be calling for him to be removed from office immediately. So again, it's just another example of the double standard and the hypocrisy that continues to shine through for Democrats. But more importantly, this takes me to you and your opinion in the comment section below to these stories. It's unfortunate that a CBP agent was shot in the face. Thank God he's going to survive. But how do you feel about the fact that this illegal alien was not only arrested repeatedly, but was released repeatedly due to cashless bail and soft on crime policies, thanks to these sanctuary cities, of course. And then what do you think about the numbers that President Trump has been able to achieve? Only 7 catch and release? I think that's amazing. And then liberals think boycotting Home Depot is going to get their message across? I don't think so. But let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section below. Now, in our next video, you have to see how Karen Bass's interview takes a terrible turn, as she can't even say one good thing about the work that President Trump has done on the border, and what she ends up saying just might shock you. So if you missed out on that video, more stories from yesterday, all you have to do is click on it because it's coming up right now.